Hello and welcome to the Geek Den for issue 110 of the Star Trek Starship collection. We are looking at the Springfield class, the USS Chekov. Here it is, we'll have a look at that in a minute. So let's run through the magazine. Okay, so we get obviously the Pacifics here. So the length, number of crew, obviously the way the thing, the way the stand goes on. Here we get the underside, nice CG renders of the Springfield here. It's a nice thing like that there is, I think there's two versions of the Springfield, because I've also seen pictures of it without this deflector section on it. So I don't know whether there was two versions, but I'm liking that they've got the deflector there. Obviously in-universe information. Obviously not too much of in-universe information, because we didn't see much of it. Only in the wreck of the graveyard scene on Best of Both Worlds Part 2. So here we have a nice little Pacific thing here about it. Last of its kind, it says. Basically it's saying that it was seen on the graveyard scene, but after that it's never seen ever again, so that it may have been retired. Here we have a nice top view and a nice bottom view here, or side view should I say, sorry. Then we have the nice little facts here about the names, that it was called the Chekov originally, but they changed it. Now we get to the little unknown ships. Now we had this sort of section before in the last one we had, which had the ships that were in War 359 that we know are sort of getting all of them. There's a lot here as well. We're also going to be getting in the collection. Carry class, Apollo class have both been confirmed. We've got the Frankenstein Voyager, as I call it. That's also been confirmed, so is the Tug. Now the SS LeCour hasn't. That was in Star Trek Generations. I would like it to see it in the collection, and hopefully it will appear. Obviously we'll probably get this ship as well, which was in Enterprise. Then we come on to Rick Starburst, who was the Star Trek illustrator, so we owe him a lot really in the world of Star Trek. He created a lot of stuff, Phaser, Tricorder, Hypos Grey, and ships as well, and obviously he helped with costumes, that Porg. So you know, in the world of Star Trek he is the man basically. Him and Doug Dexter and Kerry and all them lot, they're just it wouldn't be Star Trek, though they're not involved in Discovery. It wouldn't be anyway. So there's an in-depth thing about him creating stuff there. Then we have the normal trivia. Then we come on to this, which is the next issue, which is probably, I know it's sort of split opinion, so I want to just make it clear that I don't like it. It's probably the least ship that I've really wanted, and probably the first one in the whole collection that I would rather skip. I know some people are going to go absolutely crazy for it, and some people are going to absolutely love it. I don't. It's not Star Trek-y at all. Obviously, it was in one episode, holodeck episode as well, Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, I do like the design that they've gone with, making it obviously black and white, and I do believe the magazine throughout is the same as well, though I'm very on the fence with this. It's probably going to be the first one as well that I won't display. It just doesn't fit in. It's just not in keeping. Like I said, some people will like it, some people won't, but anyway, that's Captain Proton's rocket ship, and that is the next issue. Don't know whether or not I'm going to do a review on it or not, so make sure you click to subscribe, because I may or may not. And then obviously we get the top view of the Chekov there. So let's get it out and have a look. And here she is out of the box, and it is it's really nice, very detailed. I'm going to do the shake test. And the reason I do the shake test, if you don't know why, it's because I mainly store my Starships in a dwarf cabinet, which is in our living room. I've got dogs and kids, so it's interesting to see if they wobble out of place, because the last thing you want is the dwarf cabinet to be knocked and for these to come flying off and get broken. I'm constantly having to put the Delta Flyer and the Romulan Warbird back on, because either my dogs or the kids get knocked the cabinet slightly and they slip out. Apart from that, we've been getting quite good ones where there's no sort of slippage. Anyway, it's very, very detailed. It's really nice. Let's have a look at the base here. So I have the Springfield class, there we are, and then we have the Chekov here, and the top bit here is die cast. Everything else on this is plastic. We have mission pod. It's interesting to note that it has this here, which I do believe is the mounting point for where they hung it from the ceiling. That's quite interesting. But as you can see, the detailing got into this. Let me turn it this way, because it actually reads. It actually reads this way. If I can zoom up on here. Turn it round. If you can actually make that out. There you go. That's how detailed. Starship, Chekov, United Federation of Planets. All the windows as well are not misaligned, I can't see. They are misaligned. It's just a standard thing we get now, as you can see here and here. Whoa, they're quite misaligned underneath. We also have more detailing here. See if I can bring that. Obviously Starship Chekov here, though in the magazine this is it reads something different here. Yeah, obviously the deflector dish here, very detailed as well. It's really nice that we're getting these Wolf 359 ships. They're very different. Also as well, I don't know, it doesn't really pick it up very well here, but the nacelles here are see-through. Nice shuttle bay here at the back. This section here is like the mission pod, is what they say, a bit like what you'd get on the Nebula class starship. So this section here is interchangeable. Yeah, it's really nice. It's sort of a hybrid between obviously a Galaxy class starship and the Birth with this section under here, because the Birth starship has this very similar sort of design, though it doesn't have a deflector dish. It's sort of a sensor pod that can be swapped in and out, but it sort of reminds me slightly of the Birth class here. But yeah, as you can see, it's very detailed, though we do get some misalignment underneath. That's not too bad. And as you can see, it's nice, nice big registry, obviously the Chekov, and underneath again. But yeah, it's loads of little bits of detail on this. Once again, they've forgotten to paint the impulse engines. They do this as well quite a lot on ships, where they may or may not paint them. A little bit of red paint or a little red marker or something that can be painted in there, but they chose not to. I like the fact as well that they haven't just left the deflector dish plain, and that they've actually detailed it. And I'm going to try and see if I can zoom up here. There we go. That's actually textured and painted as well, which on some models they haven't, they've just left it blue. But that's it for this issue. It will sit really nicely with all 359 vessels. It's an interesting design. I'm loving these ships that we're getting at the moment that are not the norm, if you know what I mean. These sort of ships we've only obviously briefly seen, or just about seen, in some of the episodes. This one obviously was mainly intact, but a lot of them were destroyed. So it's really interesting that we're getting a lot. We're getting these ships. But there you go. That's the Chekov, the Springfield class, and that's it for this video. We'll catch you at our next video.